Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday, April 30th, 20th, 10th. That's right, today is Friday, April 10th, 2020. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it will ever be Friday, April 10th, 2020. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most. The absolute most of this absolutely incredible, incredible day.
I hope you guys are ready to rise and
Dude, Michael, you've been waiting patiently back here, like ready to come on out the box. You're like, Glenn, get me in here. What's up, Michael Ray? How you doing this morning, man?
What's up, man? I'm absolutely phenomenal. How you doing, brother?
Dude, I am doing so great. I'm so glad you're here with me this morning. Dude, your laugh in that video is so infectious. It just absolutely, it just made my day. When I first saw that video, I'm like, dude, this dude, his laugh and your daughter, and she's blowing me kisses. I stinking love it, man. Thank you for that.
Nah, you're welcome, man. It's just it's just that it's spreading love and what we all have, and that's just the ability to smile to a stranger. Spreading love and smiling. It is, we don't realize it. It's insanely infectious. I've talked about it for years now, and here we're living through this crazy storm of a virus that's contagious and infectious, but love and smiling and positivity is.
It's just that it's even more infectious, right? It's even more.
It is, man. It absolutely is. Once you let it get a hold of you, it's insane how it can touch people's hearts and emotions.
Yeah, man. We're going to dive into your story here, and so I'm super excited to do so. Before we do, though, our friend Cece Eberly, she submitted this quote. So in our planner, our group members, they take their favorite quotes and they submit them. And we don't highlight the person who wrote the quote. Maybe we should, but we don't. Instead, we highlight our group member that contributed the quote because that's my friend, that's my family member. So we highlight them. So Cece, she contributed this quote. It says, "The caliber of your words determine the quality of your life." What do you think about when you hear that? How do you feel about that quote?
It is so true. We are a product of our content and the words that come out and how we can touch other human beings.
Mm.
It's insanely true, man. Absolutely. Yeah, it's important what we consume and realize how we can impact others' lives.
That's right. That's right. I think that's what it's all about, man. That little dash between the born day and the end day. That little dash is all about the impact you can have on other people's lives. And you're doing that right now, man. You're making an impact in people's lives using the power of a smile. So you created this thing called the Smile Project. What is that? Can you share that with us this morning?
Yeah, so obviously it started, unknowingly years ago, when you have a daughter that's nonverbal. She has Down syndrome. And, I've talked about in which, as a parent, we take for granted the three words we want to hear from them. I love you. And when you don't hear those words from a child, but yet you feel it in other ways. And with my daughter, it was the beauty of a smile. So even though she never said, Dad, I love you, I would always ask her, do you love Daddy? And the reaction that I got, sometimes it's hard to talk about it from the emotions, but it was just overwhelming. And when you find your place in life going through such immense challenges, but you could always turn to something that was just amazingly perfect. And for her was my daughter. So you feel that love and that energy that was always infinite, even though, again, it wasn't those words, but you saw it in a smile. And I had that for years until, again, you're trying to pull yourself out of those challenges until something as simple as what we all do. And that's just rolling through a drive-through.
Right.
Rolling through a drive-through. In my case, it happened to be a Wendy's, and the interaction with an absolute complete stranger. And, again, they're so short-lived. They're 30, 45 seconds, but yet the smile, the energy, and the laugh, for me, I had that moment where I had to pull over, and, I had that moment with God, and I'm like, what are you telling me here?
Right.
And then for me, it's when it really all clicked. And I was like, it's the power of a smile. It's been there. So
you're in a drive-through at Wendy's. The person in the drive-through hits you with an infectious smile. You
hits
all
me with a smile and a laugh when you're going, I'm having a horrible morning. I knew I was on the doorstep of losing my job.
Ooh.
And I'm like, what is happening with the rest of my life? I'm this 48-year-old dude, trying to all of a sudden where I really thought I had it all figured out for a long time. And I didn't. And I'm like, what do you want from me, God? So as I work through all of those emotions, and I'm like, you know what? I actually got to be that creepy guy now that gets out of the car, that walks back up to, the person. And I was, man, I said, I've got to tell her because I can't let this go unnoticed.
Sure.
She needs to know what in that brief moment it meant for me. And I did. I waited for the cars to pass. I walked up. And of course, the normal reaction is, well, what's wrong? And I was like, that's actually the beauty of this. Nothing is wrong. I just need to tell you, thank you.
Wow.
Well, thank you for what? Thank you for what you just did to me. And it led to me asking to take a picture with her because I wanted to remember the moment. And nothing was even born yet other than I knew that I had something that a stranger just touched my life. And here for years, my daughter had been changing mine through a smile.
Right. Incredible. So you go back, you take a picture with her, you post the pic, you're like, God, and you ask that dangerous question, which is a dangerous question. You're like, God, what are you trying to tell me right now? What do you want me to do right now? Right? And that's a dangerous question. That question has led me
I was
to
like,
some
oh,
crazy...
damn, the Holy Spirit's talking to me, baby. What do you want?
Yeah, because then when he says next, you're like, oh, dang, maybe I shouldn't have asked. That's really what you want me to do? All right. So
It's going to take a lot of work.
That's right. So you take that picture, and then that sparks this now series of pictures where you meet random people with big joyful infectious smiles, and you take their pictures and you share it out. And I mean, the news has done coverage on you and all that from taking that one step and moving forward. So what's that transition been like? What's that season been like? How has that made an impact in your life?
So for me, when you're going through challenges but you're willing to embrace, to leave your comfort zones. And early on, I continued to embrace that no matter where I was in the city, I kind of knew that the Holy Spirit was talking to me. And it was like, whether I was at the gym or at Starbucks and you would lock eyes and smile, I'm like, that's the person today. That's the person I want to go introduce to. And I would walk over, I would introduce myself, and I would say, look, man, I'm just really trying to spread love through smiling to change people's attitudes and behaviors in life.
Yeah.
So that went on for really the better part of the year, but I saw it change me.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, when you are depressed and you are low, but when you're feeding off also the love and smiles of strangers, and then you start to see the impact when you start sharing those strangers. And I always wanted to find out something cool about that person to share with the world.
Yeah.
And you start doing that, you start then getting feedback from people, and it's like, who's he going to smile with next?
Right.
And it was always about really wanting to make someone smile. And look, I had a lot of movement, I had a lot of growth, never knowing in which I was like, if I really want to make someone smile and in that moment try to change the trajectory of their life, why are we not doing random acts of kindness?
Mm-hmm.
And last summer is when I really decided to interject that in what I was doing. And I was blown away.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize then when you do that, the reaction from an absolute complete stranger you're going to get when you give them something for nothing.
Yeah, it's incredible. So that's I love, and I put myself like in your shoes, and I can feel the nervousness and a little bit of awkwardness, like going up to somebody random and just being like, dude, your smile's freaking infectious. I want to take a picture of you, and I'm gonna learn one thing about you. But what I love in that is how you said you have learned and grown, so much through the process, right? So God was like, go out there and impact others. Let's go make a smile. But by you doing that, it's really affected you more, probably more than it affects that one person that you post their picture and you learn little bit about them. And I think there's a clear message in that a lot of people miss, is we're afraid to do the things that feel weird or awkward or uncomfortable. We're afraid to do them, but in reality, that's where that growth is for us, right? God's going to use those weird, awkward things that we're afraid of to grow us as individuals. So I want to go back just a little bit. Let's go back before the Smile Project, and so let's talk about your daughter and
Yeah.
growing up. So she's got Down syndrome, and are you and your wife still together?
So we're not. So
Okay.
so I'm a divorced father. Look, that adds challenges to the situation.
Sure.
But I've always given my ex-wife props. When you have a daughter with special needs, especially one like my Maddie, I thank God we get along.
Right.
In the respect of my kids, man, because that's really what it's all about, is the ability to still co-parent and communicate. And it's one thing when you're dealing with your 18-year-old daughter, but it's another thing when you're dealing with the girl that doesn't speak and has even other challenges beyond that.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. I'm sure that there are tons. She seems like a beautiful human, blowing kisses and all that in that video. I'd love to get to know her a little bit more later too. But let's talk a little bit about the challenges with that. So you're raising her, single dad. You're raising her. She's mute, you said. So I'm sure some days probably seemed a little out of control or a little bit frustrating. I'm sure I have days with my kids, and they have their own challenges. They're different. But how do you manage those more difficult days? How do you personally get through those and keep that smile and that infectious energy that you have?
You know what? I think the one thing, some of the things that I've learned is that we smile because life is hard. It's not easy. So it's truly how we perceive things. And you have to really look at it in retraining your mind, whether it is my daughter. And again, her challenges go well beyond just not communicating in normal speech patterns that we take for granted in life. So in creating that mindset, in that I started to learn that I looked at life differently, that in front of me, I had someone always showing me that the beauty of love, joy, and happiness, we overcomplicate it. We chase those things, but yet I have a human being right here in my daughter that finds it in the simplicity of life. We so much, we chase things and we bring on fear and anxiety and all of those things, especially more so now. In our minds. But when you find that, as in anything else in your life, when you can really start to control your thoughts and your mindset and feed it with such amazing things, you don't find the level of stress. So, for me, even though I chose to do this and I wasn't making any money and I was practically broke and I was living with my mom, it was all good. It was because I trusted God's plan, and I trusted that I had something in front of me that was really showing me the way. So it's how we process the stress, and the challenge and things in our life. And if we start, again, look, it's not easy. I get it. One of the things now, because you talked about the news stories, is that I'm a little bit more recognizable in the community. And one thing, people typically, the one question they always ask me is, you're the smile guy. When don't you smile? Of course, there are times I don't smile, man. But I have found myself, that, again, when I talk about mindset and smiling, at first it is more intentional.
Yeah.
But as you create these patterns and things in your life, in the same way with your mindset and how you perceive and look at things, it then becomes so natural.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think about it then, so I react differently. So if I'm having a horrible morning, I don't allow it to control my life in dealing with my daughter or dealing with things. It's insanely fleeting,
Yeah. Yeah.
now.
Dude, I love that. How we 1,000,000% overcomplicate things. It's really the simple joys, and I think more and more people are seeing that right now than ever. Right? They're like, we just took away your ability to go to work. Now we're gonna take away your ability to go shopping at Target. Now we're taking this away. Now you got to sit and really look and go, well, wait a minute, man. I really can find joy right here at home with my wife, with my kids, or in the blessing of being able to work a little bit, whereas some other people can't work, right? Things like that. So I love that you pointed that out. And then also you talked about, controlling that mind space, that headspace, what goes in. Obviously, this is a morning show. And one of the things that we talk about all the time, and my belief is if we change the way we start our day, it'll make a massive impact in your life. So if we can start with some positive, some motivation, some education, that type of stuff first thing in the morning, it really sets the tone for the day. And I find that most people that are able to keep a smile on their face usually have some type of morning routine in place. What do mornings look like for you?
Generally it's it's more of a social media perspective, and I think it's the Gary V approach, in which I am fully engaged with people. So when I produce content to inspire and impact people's lives, it's almost as if I'm building relationships with them. So I choose to start communicating with absolute, strangers to change their lives. A lot of times, like I was this morning, I find myself being silly and goofy. And I'm the dude that goes into the bathroom and looks in the mirror and I'm like, you're a badass. And I look at myself and I love me. I love me. But, it's just having that self-confidence in that God loves us so much. It's not that I'm better than anyone else. No, but you have to love yourself first.
Yeah.
You have to love and really embrace who you are and what you bring. And again, sometimes we are our own harshest critics. When we tear ourselves down, that if you can find a place to create enough self-esteem and confidence, so for me, again, it is the simplicity of being able to laugh at myself and get in front of the mirror for a few moments and then start engaging with human beings.
Right.
And before this, it was really more putting myself out there with people. And I'm a high extrovert.
Yeah.
I love giving high fives and hugging and touching people, but yet now it's just engaging in word.
Dude, I love it.
With people.
I love it, man. Just looking in the mirror like, I am a bad mamma jamma. That's right? And being silly about it and really increasing that self-esteem and that confidence. It's so incredibly important. I don't think enough people understand that if you are not in love with yourself, if you are not thoroughly and confidently in love with who you are and the gifts that God has given you uniquely and individually, it's hard to be able to pour into other people. It's hard to be able to impact other people's lives. And that's why we do it, right? That's why we take care of ourselves. We get ourselves in the right mind space so we can exude that energy. You're a flamingo like I'm a flamingo. We like to dance, we like to shine, and we like to entertain. And I love it. I'm so glad we've been able to connect so far this morning. This show goes super, super fast in the morning, and we do have to honor everybody's morning time. So a couple more questions. We're going to wrap this up, but let's go back to simple the Smile Project Louisville real quick. So you just go up to them, you meet these people for the first time, you whip the camera out, and you snap the pic, right? So there's probably been some crazy stories that you've experienced in doing this. Maybe you could share maybe like one of the craziest stories or something, really fun or impactful from just going up and taking a picture with strangers. Cause I love how that makes me feel.
And I've done it anywhere and everywhere. So I've actually hopped in a swimming pool with all my clothes on. I've been in the sauna half naked and taken pictures. I've hopped out of my car at stoplights. I actually, and this will blow you away, I'm kind of vain, and I have my nose trimmers in my car. So a lot of times I catch myself and I pull them out of my console and I'm trimming my nose hair. And I had to turn over one time, and I was like, I think that dog's laughing at me. There was a dog in the lap, and the driver didn't see me. But then the driver rolled the window down, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know that your dog was laughing at me because I was trimming my nose hairs. But then they started giggling, you know, and then they pulled away. So we briefly had this 10-second moment. Again, it's just these short moments we have with strangers.
Yeah.
And that's not even, you know, when I've had some hard moments, man, where I've done random acts of kindness, you know, with people who are battling cancer.
Sure.
You know, and you get up in that moment and they start crying, and I'm an insanely emotional man, and then I'm bawling. But then you see all these students walk up and show love, man, and support. And I think we crave that as human beings on a very, very, you know, basic level.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. So how do people that want to participate in Smile Project Louisville, how do they participate?
So we
our
website's live now. Our website's live, and it's just Smile Project Louisville. Okay. And you know, we ask people to go there. Tell us if there are people in your life that need love, that need a smile. We're trying to obviously recreate a little bit in what we do, because when we've done it in the past, we've kind of created this element in which you're in the moment, man, and you're wanting to hug and love on people, because again, we make people smile because life is hard.
Right.
You know, so that's a little different right now, and that's not who I am. So we've got some creative ideas that I don't want to unleash yet. So if there are people in your life that need some love, need someone to reach out because they've lost their job or they've got some unfortunate circumstances, we want to know about those people, because thankfully, you know, and the reason why we video and take pictures is because we want to inspire people to be touched, to get involved, and they want to pay it forward.
That's right.
You know, and they want to touch another human being's life. And so thankfully God's been good in that area to, you know, I tell people, man, you know, I'm just one dude. And if you truly think that one person can't make a difference, my friend, you are wrong. And I'm that cat.
And you're so
because the
right.
power of one is amazing.
That's right. I agree 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Look, man, time is up on this interview, but I got to ask you one last question before we go. I'm going to put you up on top of a mountain real quick. All right. And bro, I love that you guys capture on video and on camera, because I do that. And yes, we get some backlash. People are like, you should do your good deeds in private and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, yeah, I do 1,000,000 good deeds in private, but there are some things that I'm going to do on camera because of what you just said. I want to, if we can share naked people and you know, we can share naked people all over social media, and we can share Tiger King all over our social media, and we can share violence and wars and killings and all of that stuff on social media. We can sure as heck share some good deeds on social media to put some positivity in people's feeds, and I will take that to the grave. But with that said, I'm going to put you on top of a mountain real quick. Here you are on a mountaintop, and all of civilization, all of them, they're all looking up at you, dude. And they're like, Michael, 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 Michael. Everybody's cheering for you, dude. They hand you a mic, and you've got 2 minutes to drop something on them, some practical application, some wisdom, something they can take away and apply in their life today, this week, this month, this year. What are you going to tell them?
You know, I'm going to tell them that you can be so happy that when others see you, they will become happy too. That, you know, understand you've been put on this world to be great. You can crawl out of a hole, no matter what your circumstances are, because I'm here to tell you, brother, I am living proof. I've been given it all. I've had it taken away. And in the middle of my life, I have found ways to recreate love and beauty. Go be the change you want to see in the world. Go do it, you know. And I guess a lot of times too, not only my daughter, but I lost a son 14 years ago, and I speak to him regularly, and I know he's always looking at me. And I think that, in those moments, it's about what, I think I figured it out. What impact can you make in the life of a stranger?
That's it, my man.
Yeah.
That's it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Dude, Michael, you are you're one of a kind, my man. Clearly a child of God, uniquely made by the God of the universe. God who made everything, made you to be the best version of yourself that you could possibly be so that you can make an impact in other people's lives. And the decisions that you're making to snap those photos, to run those videos, they're making an impact, bro. They are on you, your friends, your family members, all those people. This morning, you made an impact on us right here on Rise and Grind. And I, for one, absolutely love you for it, my man. I absolutely stinking love you, dude.
I appreciate it, brother. The love flows right back, baby.
Man, you're awesome, dude. Do me a favor, guys. Will you all make sure you connect with Michael Ray? Go to Smile Smile Project Louisville. SmileProjectLouisville.com. Make sure you go check that out. You can follow him on Facebook as well. He's always posting pics and videos. It's super, super awesome. He will make you smile. I promise. Blow him up the way we do here on hashtag Rise and Grind. You know how we do. Blow him up. Send him encouraging messages. Share him out as far as you possibly can. Michael, hang out here in the green room for just a second, and I'm going to say bye to the rest of these peeps with a little music. Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my man.